90% of men have no idea what a real female orgasm looks like. That's a fact. They think moaning means she's close. They think squirting means she's finished. Most of the time, she's just trying to help your ego survive the night. Because if she told you the truth that you've never actually made her climax, your ego would break. That's right, your worst fears are probably true. I once had a guy tell me, "Bro, I'm amazing in bed. The girls go crazy." So I asked him, "How do you know they're not faking it?" He goes, "Well, they say my dick's big." Mate, she says that because you suck at listening and she doesn't want you to cry. This will be you unless you listen up. Because most men were never taught how a woman's body actually works. They learn from porn or worse, from other clueless guys who are also failing in silence. So let's fix that. For the guy who actually wants to be better, who wants to give her real, repeatable, involuntary orgasms with his fingers, his tongue, and his presence, this is all you need. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly how to make her climax again and again without using toys, without guessing, and without ever asking, "Did you finish?" I'm telling you, if you don't learn this, she'll stop trusting you with her body. She'll start performing instead of feeling, and she'll start dreading intimacy, and eventually she'll stop wanting it altogether. And that's the beginning of the end for your sex life and that relationship. It took me years to figure this out. I had to unlearn everything I thought sex was supposed to be about. And once I started watching her body instead of my own ego, that's when I learned how to make her come again and again and again. Lesson 1. A woman's orgasm doesn't come from speed or from pressure or from some secret move. This isn't an ancient art passed down through generations. It's simple biology. It comes from rhythm, safety, and your ability to actually pay attention. You don't get her off by doing more. You get her off by doing better. Quantity is not quality. When you start touching a woman, I bet most of you go straight for the clitoris. Like it's a big red button in a video game, tap it and you win a prize. That's the word amongst your friends anyway, that's the method. But you're failing at step 1. You skip the build-up, you skip the tease, and then you wonder why she takes so long. Her body hasn't had time to want anything yet. You're forcing a reaction that she hasn't. You're skipping to the end of the story and expecting it all to make sense. You're not alone either. Some estimates cite that only 15% of women ever experience multiple orgasms, despite every woman being physically capable of them. So instead of diving in, here's what you do. You start around the outside, inner thighs, hips, stomach, slow kisses on the neck, even verbal foreplay if you want to really warm up to it. Use your breath, use your hands, use your tone of voice. Make her wait. Make her ache with fantasy, with anticipation, and make her body start moving toward you. You're the reality of her fantasy. And then when you finally touch her clit, even then, you don't go fast. You don't go hard. You don't can guess. This isn't Cluedo. This should be a straight checkmate. You find the rhythm her body naturally leans into, and you lock into that like a drumbeat. Think consistent, soft, confident. Like you've been here before, and you know exactly what's about to happen. Contrast, pacing, moving in and out of that tension. The moment her hips start tilting, her breath gets short, her legs tense up. That's your cue. And here's where even more men get up. She starts to build. And they change something. The speed, they add pressure, they switch techniques. But they do this at the completely wrong time. These things are great for adding variance and for changing things up, but not when she's ready to blow. That's like pulling the cake out of the oven halfway through and wondering why it's flat. Only ever do this if you're still early in working her up and want to tease or edge the fuck out of her. But you need to know your woman wants this. You hold the line. If it's working, don't change a goddamn thing. You're not chasing her orgasm, you're protecting it. You stay right there, same pressure, same angle, same rhythm, until her whole nervous system just lets go. Sometimes it might take a woman a bit of consistency to actually get comfortable, to vibe with the feeling and the rhythm herself. She's not Mozart. She has to match your level of attentiveness and work to it. Once she's aligned, she lets go, and the rest is the orgasm doing its work as you thrust. Because when you learn to give her that first real involuntary orgasm, she stops performing. She starts trusting. That's where the connection actually begins. And that's what unlocks the next one, and the next one, and the one after that. But why do most guys never even get there? It's not because they're bad with their hands. That's not the body part that's the problem. Let's talk about why your head becomes your worst enemy. Because if your mind isn't calm, if your energy's off, if you're stuck in performance mode, she'll feel it. Her body will shut down before you ever get a chance. A racing mind during sex keeps her body from opening up. Thinking about lasting longer, performing better, or getting it right means you're not connected to her at all. Instead, you're tied to your fucking anxiety. No woman climaxes in a room full of tension. You likely haven't noticed how often you check out. Your body shows up, yet your presence is just scattered, desperate, insecure. No man wants to wonder whether she's enjoying it instead of actually watching her enjoy it. You reach for porn memories, old tricks, mental finish lines, but you need to wake up. None of that is real. Most men are too focused on themselves to give her a real orgasm. They're not malicious, they've just never been taught what presence actually is. You think presence is looking her in the eye and saying something sexy, but it's not. Presence is being so calm, so grounded that she can then unravel. Twitchy energy keeps her guarded. Erratic breathing means she won't relax. Constant check-ins like, does that feel good? Every 5 seconds completely kill the vibe. You become tedious, annoying even. She'll start pretending it does feel good just to make you stop asking and get it over with. Insecurity pushes her into a role. She becomes a performer, not a partner. And when a woman has to manage her emotions during sex, her body won't trust you enough to let go. Her brain shifts into caretaking, and caretakers don't climax, they cope. This is what kills intimacy over time. She starts to dread sex, not because she doesn't want you, but because it never takes her anywhere. It's all output, no reward, all tension, no release, all effort, no ecstasy. So here's the value. Train yourself to slow the fuck down. By the time you touch her, you should already be in control of your breath. By the time you go down on her, your nervous system should already be relaxed. She can't relax into your body if you haven't relaxed into it first. Your mind sets the tempo of the entire room. When you're in her body, she has a chance to feel safe. Stay in your head and she stays on guard, even if she loves you. Safety is sensed, not said. You don't talk your way there. The best sex of her life won't be some wild pornographic scene. It's going to be the moment she realized she didn't have to think anything. The moment her body took over while you simply held that space. That's what opens the door to a real orgasm. That's where everything changes. And once you get that piece right, once you show her it's safe to feel, to moan, to lose control, now and only now, will you need to know what to actually do with your hands. So let's break that down step by step. No fluff, just what works. Let's say you've got her to let go once. You've achieved that first climax milestone in your multi-orgasmic mission. Well, now what? You stop? You pat yourself on the back? It's over, right? No, mate, you've only just started because her body isn't done. It's just getting warmed up. You want to know the secret to repeating orgasms? It's not more pressure. It's not a new technique. It's not toys. It's stillness. It's timing. It's knowing when to stop and when to hold, because the moment she finishes, her whole system becomes hypersensitive. Unlike most men, many women have little or no refractory reset period, enabling another orgasm seconds or minutes later. But their clit does get very sensitive for a brief moment. It's a lot easier for the body to become aroused again after the first orgasm too, but it also becomes much more fragile. She's used to what feels good and turned off tenfold by what doesn't. Touch her wrong here and you'll push her away. Touch her right and you'll ride that second wave straight through to her spine. You stay close, stay still, and just feel. Let her body tell you when it wants more, not your ego. Training your pillow talk, your aftercare is key to this. It becomes more like transition care. You avoid that hyperstimulation. Do not keep your fingers where they are. Put them in a different spot where it isn't as sensitive but still triggers her. You soften the pressure, lower your energy, hold her in that moment, but still let her know that you're passionately still into continuing. If she jerks or twitches, don't freak out. She's just resetting. You're not interrupting her orgasm, you're extending it. The second one comes a lot faster because now she trusts it. Now her body's opened up. This isn't just chat, it's science. A place called the nucleus accumbens and the hypothalamus are areas of the brain that act as our reward and arousal hub. They get massively triggered during female orgasms and continuing to push on those pulsations while she's coming the first time. That's the moment to trigger additional peaks. The gate's wide and she doesn't need convincing anymore. So don't rush her there. Just keep the rhythm and let her walk through. And listen, I don't care if you're using your hands or your mouth or whatever. The principle's the same. Less guessing, more listening and paying attention. Every orgasm has a shape. Every climax has a tempo. When you learn to feel the difference, you can lead her wherever you want. Now here's where it gets interesting. If she starts arching, shaking, going silent, stay steady. If she starts laughing or shrieking or gasping, don't stop. You're not hurting her, you're helping her unlock something she's never felt before. If you have good communication, you'll always be aware of when that line is crossed and you need to stop. At this moment we're discussing, there's no pain in the world between you two. In fact, this is where becomes healing, where the walls drop and the real her shows up. Most men never even get this close because most men are still chasing that first orgasm while she's ready for the fourth. Getting her to come once is just the beginning, gentlemen. The men who really know what they're doing don't just give her orgasms, they reshape how she experiences them. Let me show you what that actually looks like from the inside out. You've made her come once, maybe twice. Now, here's where most guys will fuck it all up. They assume the job's done. Roll over, say wow, and start flexing. But the ones who really know, they stay right there because many women have little reset at this point. You don't pull away. You change positions a little, one variable at a time. You communicate with her to know how to trigger the next one, but you don't ramble on and on asking her constantly. Interpret her noise, her facial movements, her body's reaction to your touch. It speaks more than words can at this point. Trust me. You hold the space like a rock in a storm because her body's still lit. Her nervous system is wide open. And if you don't kill that moment, she'll climb again, and even harder this time. There's something that happens after her second orgasm that you have to understand if you want to move beyond this point. Her body stops thinking, her mind stops filtering, chemistry takes over. You've hit that deep surrender, and from here, anything is possible. She's not chasing a high anymore, she's releasing stored tension from years of nothing. You also need to make sure you yourself are lasting that long, because by the third, she's going to be near animalistic and you need to maintain control. Do not bust, breathe, and edge. This is where the shrieking happens, laughing, the shaking, the silence. This is chemistry at work. This is where she melts, where her brain can't form a sentence anymore. And if you're smart, you stay close and let her feel all of it. No chatter. That's what turns sex into a full body emotional reset. Safety plus chemistry. If you're using your hands, hold the same contact point with half the pressure. More lube can help. Breathe slow. Anchor the moment. Let her ride the waves without interruption. Match her breath. You don't move until she does. And even then, you follow her lead. This isn't about stimulation anymore. It's about containment. Light squeezes and releases help. And don't underestimate this part, the silence, the stillness, the presence. It'll wreck her more than any stroke ever could, because now she knows you weren't just trying to get her off. You were holding her through something, and no one's ever done that before. When she finally drops into your chest, quiet, shaking, and teary, that's the moment she bonds with you in a way she can't explain. Oxytocin seals it, because you didn't just f her, you witnessed her. And that shit rewires something deep in her nervous system. That's what she'll remember. Not the orgasm, the surrender. Not the climax, but the connection. You stopped trying to do something to her and just let her fully melt. And now, you're not just the best sex she's had, you're the one her body and mind can't forget. Look, I don't care how good you think you are. If you're not paying attention, if you're not staying grounded, if you're still trying to impress her with performance instead of presence, then you've got no idea what you're actually capable of in bed. I've given you the truth here. Honestly, I've laid it bare for you to take advantage of. This isn't about giving her multiple orgasms. That's just the side effect. This is about becoming the kind of man she trusts enough to let go with. That's what makes the sex better. That's what makes the connection real. That's what makes you unforgettable. Because once a woman knows she can fully let go with you, she'll chase you, she'll crave you, she'll open in ways that you've never seen. Not because you're the biggest, not because you're the best, but because you're the only one who actually saw her for what she truly is. So go practice, go get up, go get better. Because once you get this right, once you learn how to touch her body and help her soul at the same time, your life won't just improve, it'll never be the same again. And if you want to continue to learn all the secret tricks women just don't share, click that next video to gain even more knowledge and become a master in bed.